you know that I cried tears of gold for you. I sit here proud for you.
We're such a mess together. You make me lose my temper. You're the only one.
Get ready to get your bank cards out because here's a book recommendation slapping right at ya. If you love fantasy, magical creatures like fae, werewolves, vampires, and so much more. Do you like the found family trope? The forced marriage trope? Enemies to lovers? Friends to lovers? But then enemies to lovers? Do you like to have a lot of emotions in one book? Laughter, ha ha ha, anger, grrr, sadness, your heart literally being ripped out from your chest? Do you like it when the main character has multiple different love interests and like you kind of don't know which one to choose from? You've got the dark morally grey guy, but then you have a darker morally grey guy, but then you have a sweet best friend. Then Fortuna Sworn is for you. Check it out.
Convincing you to read my favorite books by just telling you their first line. I've been locked up for 264 days. Lucy Herondale was 10 years old when she first met the boy in the forest. My face is mashed sideways against the trunk of a police cruiser when Kate dies for the third time.
It wasn't until I started working in a bookstore that I realized that my taste in books is very specific. Enemies to lovers, but make it gay. Childhood best friends to lovers, but make it gay. Enemies to lovers, but make it gay. Childhood best friends to lovers, but gay. Enemies to lovers, but it's gay. Childhood best friends to lovers, but gay.
Stop what you're doing, shut up, and read this book. This one right here, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I ain't fucking joking when I say I've never read anything more beautiful. This is historical fantasy with romance. The story starts out in 1714 France. Addie LaRue is an oppressed woman who wants much more than her simple life and village could ever offer her. She's been told never to pray to the gods after dark, but one day out of desperation she does. She asks for more time and freedom. The darkness uses her words against her and curses her to immortality and damned to be forgotten. Anyone that she's met in the past forgets her. Anyone that she meets in the future will forget her as soon as they're out of sight. So there's no way for her to leave a mark on the earth. But 300 years later, 2014 New York City, she meets a guy in a bookstore who remembers her name. This book was heartbreakingly beautiful. You can literally feel the emotions of these characters. This was a fucking masterpiece. I rate nothing 5 stars, but this right here, 5 stars. There's no fucking way you can predict the ending. And yes, I will be claiming my love for this book a personality trait. Here's a cursed image of me reading the last part and fan art for encouragement.
This is what you call a honeymoon. Pacing round our separate rooms, running from our elaborate ruse. We're doomed. Please forgive me your grace. Can't even look me in the face, and now I must lie in the mess you made. The mess we made was your mistake.
Books that got me hooked from the very first line. When I was a kid, my mom constantly invented games. Welcome to the beautiful Sinclair family. 10 years ago, on my 6th birthday, my father disappeared. First, I'd like to state for the record that the whole notion of writing this down was not my idea.
Bank cards out once again because I have a recommendation slapping right at ya. Do you like fantasy? Do you like the one bed trope? Do you like enemies to lovers, but then back to enemies, but then back to lovers, but then back to enemies again? Do you like it when the main character and the enemy hold daggers to each other's throats and they're so close that they could kiss, but then the funny side character comes in and ruins it? Do you like when the main character and the enemy are always belittling each other, but they only do that because they're secretly in love? If you said yes to at least 5 of those things, well, I have a recommendation for you. Let me just grab it.